Nothing tells your family's story better than the photos that you decide to put on display for everybody to see. Not the ones in drawers, the ones that you actually make it into a frame or on the wall. It's like a museum, because if you think about it, when you go to see an exhibit at the museum, they edit the collection. They don't put every single piece the artist ever made on the wall and hope that you like it. They edit it, they organize it, and they curate it. So I asked professional photographer Ra Koh to come back to the show and show us some easy ways to edit the collections that all of us already have and reveal a few tricks to capture some brand new memories. So MeRa, welcome back.
Hi, thank you.
I have to give you a kiss. Wait. Hi. Like far away, far away.
I know.
We need to be a little closer.
Like the last
yeah,
one.
Exactly. So, all right, how do you start organizing photos? Really, because that is what it is. Even I have dresser drawers full of photographs of times that make me happy, tons of meaning. All of you do too, right?
Yeah.
Right. If you go to the second stage, you get those weird boxes, right? And then you at least have them in boxes. They're not in a drawer, now they're in a box, so you're organized. But how do we organize? How do we edit? Which are the ones we pick to display?
Great question, because the frustrating part with digital is that all of our images are living on our computer, right? And we just don't know how to get them off.
Right.
And so where do we even start with knowing which ones of the thousands we want to pull? So I like to think of it as storytelling photos. What photos tell a story? And so there's certain elements that I think about when I'm looking for storytelling photos. And one is defining details.
Okay.
You know, what photo is going to represent a specific defining detail? And it can be so simple. It can be like the fleeting swirl on the back of a newborn's head, right?
Right.
And that is only going to be there for maybe like 10 days, but that's a detail we want to remember.
And that is really, see, and don't you think, I'm listening to you right now because I don't know the answer to this, and now I'm starting to understand, but why do people put like those portraits up? You know what I mean? Like that's like the knee-jerk. Don't you do that? That horrible school picture. It's like, you know, and your hair's bad, your outfit's bad, the bad wedding photo, the bad whatever it is. But it's not those photos. It's not the ones you posed for, right?
Yeah. I mean, really, I think that we want to get away from putting up post photos, because that just tells us the time, the place, where we were, but it doesn't really tell us a story of who we were, right? And so another storytelling element would be conflict. Like, I'm looking for photos that have conflict, and not necessarily like my kids fighting. I don't need photos of that. But you know, what is a moment of tension or emotion? And so an example is the first day of kindergarten for my daughter, she actually thought that she had to know how to tie her shoes before she could walk through the front door.
Really?
And so
she thought that was the rule.
Yeah, she thought that was how you get into kindergarten.
So it actually it speaks to our educational system in the U.S. I wish that was true. But okay, so what happened?
Right. So I just thought, oh my gosh, like I can take the photo of her on the first day of school, smiling and looking at the camera, or I can take this shot of her sitting on the front doorstep of this,
desperately
class.
trying to tie her shoes.
Yeah, and just like that's something I want on my wall.
Do you guys get that? Like the difference between the two of those? I mean, that is so. It's either the posed thing with the backpack and the name tag, or really what it meant to her that day.
Right.
And you'll never not think of that when you look at that picture.
The milestone, right?
The milestone.
Yeah, I really want my kids, when they're older, to not go, oh, mom was like crazy with her camera, right? But I want them to like see themselves better in their photo, like know themselves by what we shot of them. So
absolutely.
A third storytelling element would be the setting. And where does the story take place? And so setting that has a purpose. And it could be how the setting changes as your kids grow and become adults.
So explain a perfect example of that.
Okay, so my little guy loves to build blanket forts and read books under the blanket fort. And so this is a setting that I want us to always remember. Because when he's 30, he's not going to read under a blanket fort.
Or if he is, that's a whole other show. Right. We can send him over to Dr. Phil.
Yeah, totally.
My child's reading under a blanket. Can't help you.
What do we do?
Yeah.
So that is, that's a significant setting for him as a 5-year-old. But then, it could be the setting of the tent he someday gets married in with the moon coming up over the mountain, So just thinking about not everything has to be a people, their face looking at the camera, but really backing out, slowing down, right? Digital photography is like,
so quick.
We can take so many, so we should take thousands, right?
It's true.
But what if we thought about the fact that, what if it was like film? I only have 36 shots, like a roll of film used to be.
Right. And they're
what am I
expensive to
gonna-
develop.
Yeah.
So I've got to really be careful about what I'm doing and really put some thought into each photo.
Right. What am I going to spend those 36 on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the $2 a piece to develop them or whatever it was.
Right.